Hi everyone, it's Michelle. Today I prepped my page using Faber-Castell's white gesso, and this is the gesso that you get in the package, a kit of gelatos, and it just comes in a tiny little tube, but I was able to find the little jar at Michael's, so I believe they have them on Amazon as well. Today I'm going to be using Inktense pencils, and I'm going to be doing the Fruit of the Spirit today. And the Inktense pencils are just amazing. I got my set on Amazon, which I can't remember the exact price, but it was a lot cheaper than at Michael's. So if you're looking to get a set, I would definitely look on Amazon. The difference with Inktense pencils versus watercolor is that the ink is permanent, it is ink-based. And the difference with watercolors is that it is not permanent, and anytime you add water, it will blend with the previous color. Whereas with the Inktense pencils, as long as your previous layer is dry, it'll be permanent, and so any color that you add on top of that is another layer. It doesn't affect the color underneath. So that's one thing I love about them. The other thing I love is that they are really vibrant colors. They are nice and bold. A couple weeks ago, I did a video where I used Tim Holtz Distress inks on top of this white gesso, and after a couple hours it did fade. Whereas a couple hours after I did this application with the Inktense pencils, they were still vibrant and bold. They didn't fade at all. So that's another benefit to using the Inktense pencils. So I'm not somebody that loves doing freehand drawing usually, and I just wanted to share a little trick that I use when I want to do a freehand drawing. I will go on my iPad and search on Google for whatever it is that I want to draw. So in this case, I searched for grapes, and then I searched for oranges, and so on. And once the search comes up, if you click at the very top left on images, it will pull up all the images pertaining to that search. And from there, you can pick a picture that you want to try and draw. And what I do then is I take a screenshot of the picture so that I can then zoom in on it. If you just have it on the web, it's difficult sometimes to zoom in. So that's the reason I take the screenshot. So I hope that is clear to you guys. If not, please ask me and I will try and explain it in a better way. So I'm just going in there and coloring the various pieces of fruit and coloring them in. The orange and the pear, I ended up adding some yellow to it just to change the shade a little bit. And I'm just adding a little bit of green to the apple just to make it look a little bit more realistic. And I will apologize. I've been having so much trouble with my camera mount, and it's been shifting on me so many times in these videos, and I'm really sorry for the view that you guys get, but I hope it's okay for you. It did make me want to cut out the portion that I painted. So you'll see here I'm just finishing up painting, and really there wasn't much for you to watch. I didn't do any shading or anything. I just basically added water to a brush and painted in where I had colored. So I'm just adding some water to the grapes now. And you just want to use a little bit of water. You don't want to use too much because you don't want to cause bleed through. Even when you use the gesso, you need to be careful not to use too much water. So as you can see there, the colors are really bold and just nice and clear. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a kind of like an olive green color, and I'm going in and adding some shading. So the trick with shading is that you want to pick where your light source is coming from on your objects. And so for me, I chose that my light source would be coming from the top left. And so what you want to do with your shading is do the opposite. So I'm doing my shading on the bottom right of the fruit. So you can see there I'm just coloring in kind of randomly where I think some shading might be. And there's honestly no rhyme or reason to this. I'm not an expert at shading. It's pretty easy when you use the light source trick. So I'm just adding some more shading there to make the bananas look a little bit more realistic and not so perfectly yellow. And then I'm just going to take the brush in just a second and get some water on it and kind of blend where I've been sketching there with the shading. And just add the little part on the top of the orange. And there, now I'm going to just blend part of where I shaded there. And it didn't quite turn out the way I wanted it to, so I would encourage you, if that happens for you, just to play with it a little bit. I ended up dabbing a little bit of the paint off, or the ink off, with a Kleenex. And then I just added a little bit more color. But basically, I just played with it until I got the kind of shading that I thought looked right. And that's all I really did. It's not a lot to it, really. And now I'm taking a white pencil and I'm going in where, on the top left, where the light source is coming from. And I'm just adding some white as a reflection of the light. And now I'm just going to be going in and adding the words, the fruit of the Spirit. And I did start with the word gentleness because when I had sketched it out previously and planned it, it got a little bit crowded at the bottom. So I took the word gentleness out and added it to the top of the fruit of the Spirit. So the pen that I'm using there is a Staedtler black pen, and I got that from a set of, I believe, 10 pens, and I just got it from Walmart. I've seen it many places, this set, and I think it was about $14, and that's in Canada. So I'm just going to read to you the verse from Galatians 5, verse 22. But the Holy Spirit produces this kind of fruit in our lives: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. There is no law against these things. So there is the verse for you. And I'm just finishing up writing. I did different kind of fonts for each word. Some I did kind of skinny, some I did wider, taller letters, and some I did in capitals and some cursive. So you can just kind of do what you want there. And here are the final pictures for you. I hope that you really enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. I love hearing from you guys. And there's a picture of the shading there for you. And yeah, I hope you have a really great day and take care. God bless.